Hi guys, it's Jo here. Well, it's Jo's hands here anyway. Today, if that fly ever leaves me alone, it's really warm here, so apologies for the wildlife. I decided I'm going to challenge myself to make a gluten-free recipe. So I've gone with the Nigella Lawson recipe for flourless brownies. Nigella's very sensible with her gluten-free recipes in that she just omits flour completely, so there's no faffing around with buying unusual ingredients it wouldn't normally have in the house. The only thing that is in this that I wouldn't generally have in, some good old ground almonds. So unfortunately for those of you that have got nut allergies, this is a no-go. So on the stovetop I've currently got melting 225 grams of chocolate, to which I'm going to add 225 grams of butter. So there is my chocolate and butter all melted nicely. I've used coconut chocolate, but only because it was on sale. The recipe states to use 70% cocoa or more, and I know this isn't, and you'll be able to tell from the colour. But I was saving myself a couple of pennies. I've got my oven preheated to 170 degrees, and I'm now going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Do as I say, not do as I do. If you can afford it, buy vanilla bean paste, as I've said in a million recipes before, because it is the nicest by far. This one smells really strongly of alcohol. And to that I am then going to add, let me just check my measurements because I can't remember how much is in there, 200 grams of caster sugar. So we're going to mix this in, let it all combine. And then I'm just going to set this to one side and let it cool slightly before we add the next lot of ingredients. So apologies for my awful lighting there, guys. I was so keen to start my recipe that I totally forgot to turn my lights on. So that's what it should look like, all nice and oozy. And obviously the bits in mine are coconut, which will just add to the flavour. Okay, just as I'm about to start again, the neighbours start mowing the lawn, so apologise for the noise. But in this pan is now my slightly cooled chocolate, butter, sugar, and vanilla extract. And to this we are going to add 3 eggs. That's why you need to cool it so they don't cook when you add them in. So I'm just going to beat up a bit. Come on, eggs, break. This is what gives you a nice gooiness to your brownie, all the eggs. Yummy. So that's our eggs, and then I'm going to add, so around 150 grams of ground almonds. Like I said, if you're nut allergies, obviously this is a no-go, apologies. Again, I'm just going to add that in, stir that in, and try not to make too much of a mess of my kitchen. I hope, this is the first time I've tried this recipe, and it genuinely is. When I've tried most recipes on camera, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know that things quite often go wrong. But I'm just hoping that you can't really tell the texture of the ground almonds. I have a bit of an issue with this. Same with cauliflower, when you ground cauliflower to make cauliflower rice. The texture's just not the same as the real thing. And I've got a funny feeling that this might be similar. Like, you can tell that it's granular, it's not like flour. It doesn't behave like flour, doesn't feel like flour, doesn't taste like flour. So hopefully, Nigella hasn't let me down yet with the recipes. I'm hoping that this one's good too. Right, and the one last thing we're going to add is 100 grams of chopped almond and walnuts. I've just bashed these up to a full when I got them. So I've just beat them up. So I'm going to add that in. This is going to not be an airy brownie at all. It's going to be really gooey, I can tell already just from mixing it. Okie dokie, so that's well mixed in. So then we're going to transfer this across into a, well, should be a 9 by 9 lined tin. Mine's 8 by 8 I think, so it might be slightly thicker. Pour it in. This is going to go into an oven for about 25 minutes at 170 degrees. It should be wobbly when it comes out. You don't want it cooked all the way through. And then we literally leave it in the pan until it's stone cold. That's the hard part with brownies. So there we have it. I'll be back when it's all cooked. Right, so it's some hours later. This has been out of the fridge and it's now stone cold. Just checking. I'm going to give it a bit of a sprinkle of icing sugar to make it look pretty. And then I'm going to cut it up and we'll try a piece. From reading other people's reviews, this is a very, very, very gooey brownie, so I wanted to make sure it was really cold before I cut it because I didn't want it going everywhere. So it recommends that you cut this into 16, so we'll cut it in half. Oh, it's very gooey. In half again. And there you have it. From just a little taste on the edge of the knife, it's very, very, very gooey. And if you don't like almonds, I don't think you'll like the taste of it because it's very almondy. But it's a good alternative to flour. And it looks beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, then please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if there's anything you'd like me to try to make in the future, then please let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.